Essential part of humanity and history, and to take it away would mean to take away our humanity. Today I'm going to talk to you about why the profound significance and benefits coming from the daily practice of family mealtime are absolutely necessary to having a thriving, happy family, and I'm also going to talk about my picnic table project and how it relates to this topic, and then some action points for you guys. But first, America is in a terrible crisis. The institution of the family is falling apart. There are many reasons for this, like workaholism, lack of values, and abortion. One reason is the main cause of the decay of the family, and that is lack of family mealtime. Family mealtime is essential to having a happy, thriving family, but the occurrence of family mealtime has been decreasing dramatically in America. An article on family dinner statistics by the Scramble states, in the past 20 years, the frequency of family dinners has declined 33%. In addition, a recent poll by YouGov found that 62% of parents with children under 18 wish they had family dinners much more often or somewhat more often. But what are the causes of this? Why is family mealtime decreasing in America? Well, one of the causes for this is workaholism. Workaholism, defined by Oxford Languages, is a compulsion to work excessively long and hard hours. In a family where the mom and or the dad are workaholics, work takes priority and family relationships do not. So when the mom or dad are out working really late, they're not going to have much opportunity to spend time with their kids, and there won't be much opportunity for family mealtime. I have an article for you. The Quidlow timesheet states that a new study of 2,000 employed Americans found that nearly half of them, 48%, consider themselves to be a modern-day workaholic. But interestingly, they only found that 28% of them worked hard out of financial necessity. Another cause of decreasing family mealtime in America is media and electronics. Whether it be like watching TV instead of sitting around the table or just scrolling on your phone, being on electronics decreases the time you're interacting with other people, especially having like family quality time and family meal time. And part of that is due to the dramatic growth of technology in recent years. A Leftronic article on how fast is technology growing states that 40% of the world's population has access to the internet. 90% of the world's data was generated within the past 2 years alone. Only 8% of households owned a personal computer in 1984, but 5 billion people in the world now own a mobile device. So we can see that with an increase of technology usage, there would be a decrease of interaction, decrease of family mealtime. Another cause of a decrease in family mealtime is online food ordering. So when you're ordering food, whether it's like DoorDash or Grubhub, or whatever, and you're going to not feel as committed or put as much effort into that meal because when you're preparing a meal, getting the groceries, setting that around the table, you're going to want to make the most out of that. But when you're just spending a few bucks and ordering from DoorDash, you're not going to feel as committed to that, and so you're not going to have that quality time that you get with family mealtime as much. And we can see this aligns with the decrease in family mealtime with the huge increase in the online food ordering industry. An article by Hotel Tech Report states that the food delivery industry in the United States has tripled in revenue in the past 5 years. In 2015, 66 million Americans ordered $8.7 billion of food delivery. In 2020, food delivery revenue surpassed $26 billion and 111 million users. The U.S. food delivery market shows no signs of slowing down. It's predicted to further grow to $43 billion by 2025. So with this huge increase of the online food industry, you can see that decrease of family mealtime. Now that I've talked about why family mealtime occurrence has gone down in the U.S., I'm going to talk about the negative effects that this has on the kids and the adults. A study conducted through the Medline research using the Ovid interface states that inverse associations were found in 2 studies between family meal frequency and violence, such as frequency of fighting, hitting, injuring a person, carrying or using a weapon, and threatening physical harm. The study also found a negative association between family meal frequency and low self-esteem, meaning that the less family meal time you have, the lower your self-esteem is going to be. Later the study reported that a statistically significant negative association between family meal frequency and high depressive systems, as well as between family meal frequency and suicidal thoughts, both males and females. And this aligns with the statistics we've seen nowadays with suicide rates going up and depression rates going up as well. So since it is evident that family mealtime is decreasing, and we have observed what happens to the youth of society when family mealtime becomes less and less frequent, we are not surprised that the youth of America are becoming more depressed, losing self-esteem, more violent, more disorderly in their eating, and more frequently using alcohol or substances. We are truly amidst a crisis. But what is the solution to this? Well, although the situation we are in seems bleak, there is an obvious, simple, yet not so simple solution to the problem of decreasing the occurrence of family mealtimes. And that solution is to have more family mealtimes. Although there are other ways to strengthen family relationships, learn manners, learn how to communicate, learn good ethics, and so on, the best and most efficient way that is compatible with busy schedules and lack of resources is family mealtime, the best practical opportunity to spend intentional quality time together. Now I'm going to talk about some positive effects that regularly occurring family mealtime has on people. And the first is the positive benefits. So a study conducted through Medline Research also found the findings of this systematic review indicate that eating frequent family meals is associated with better psychosocial outcomes for children and adolescents. It also said there was a positive relationship between frequent family meals and increased self-esteem and commitment to learning, or a higher grade point average. So you can see the mental benefits from that recurring family mealtime. And there's also, it discourages drug addiction and alcohol and substance abuse. An LSIS, Living Skills in School Community article states, teens who sat down for fewer than 3 dinners a week were 3 times more likely to say it's okay for teens their age to use marijuana. Teens who eat with their families 5 or more times a week were far less likely to report that they expected to try drugs. And that is because, you're with your parents, they're that good example for you, and you're having those good relationships and good interactions. So you're less prone to that. Another benefit would be better relationships. So, when you're intentionally hanging out and communicating regularly with family members, that strengthens your relationships, which is advantageous to any human being because you can share your struggles you're going through and the successes you've had, as well as having fun in the intimate, small community God has given you. The LSIS article states that meal times are often the most common time children communicate with parents. Turning off television and placing phones on a counter away from the table allows everyone in the family to connect. So you get that better relationships there. And the better relationships with your family members also carries over to better relationships with people outside your family, with your friends and, whatever. Another benefit of it is there are many physical benefits from having regularly occurring family mealtime. An article by the University of Florida states that eating dinner together as a family also encourages healthy eating habits and provides a model for children to carry with them into adulthood. Studies found family dinners increase the intake of fruits and vegetables. Families who eat dinner together tend to eat fewer fried foods and drink less soda. And family meal frequency is linked to the intake of protein, calcium, and some vitamins. So you're more likely to eat healthier foods when you're eating together as a family and preparing that meal. Now that I've talked about some of the positive benefits from that, I'm going to talk about my project that I did. And I built 3 8-foot picnic tables for Alpha Christian Children's Home, which is located in Perry, Kansas. And this doubled as my Eagle project, actually. But the reason I chose this project was because I wanted to provide the kids at the children's home there with more opportunities to have that family, mealtime setting for them. And so that's why I chose this project. And I replaced their old picnic tables that were there, which were kind of falling apart. You can see on the picture on the right, the bench there is warping. So when you sit down on that, it's gonna pinch you. And they were getting lots of splinters, and there were some wasps' nests. in some of the tables, and so they didn't use these tables very much. So I wanted to replace them with new good ones so that they would want to go outside and use those tables, and they would have like a positive association with that family mealtime. Here's another look at them. You can see the top of the table is like kind of working. It would be terrible if you had like, I don't know, a cup of fruit punch and you set it down and it spills and your day is ruined. No one's gonna want to use those tables, right? And then, I go to Home Depot, get all the wood for it. My grandpa decided to come help me. He was very involved with choosing the wood and everything we did there. I'm very grateful for his help, but yeah. And then, so we take the wood back to my house where we pre-cut it with miter saws and stuff. My great project coach, Mr. Cook, came down and helped me, brought his fancy saw over there. I didn't want to have all my workers around those like dangerous saws. I think there's like you have to be 18 to use it or something. So we brought it to my house and pre-cut it there, and then we had 2 work days, which were on there's a video of me cutting wood if you want to see that. I don't know if it's going to play. There we go. I don't know if there's sound. Yeah, look at that. I'm professional. Thank you. Anyway, so we had 2 work days. It's like 2 back-to-back Saturdays from 8 to 12. And this is from the first work day. And I split our workers into like 3 different like groups to kind of work most efficiently, so they're each like working on different parts of the picnic tables. There's us taking a lunch break. I had pizza and donuts to keep them happy, and also Arizona tea, which is I think what I'm drinking here. This is the second work day, and we're almost done. We just have to put the benches on, and then here is where we're staining the tables. Just kind of the last step to get them like to look nice, have that nice kind of glow to it, and keep like protected from the weather so it doesn't warp like the other tables. Here's the finished product of the table we have here. Here we go. Here's another look at them. It turned out really well. I'm really thankful for all the help I got. It was kind of a last minute getting people together kind of thing, but there were people who showed up when I needed them, so I'm really grateful for that. I couldn't have done it without them. So here's the kids on the tables, and I've heard that they've been using them a lot recently, especially because it's gotten warmer. It's like spring, summertime, so they've been able to use them a lot, so I'm really happy to hear that. But what can you guys do? That's what I did, but what can you guys do to have, more family mealtime, to kind of have that regular occurrence of it? And I've got some concrete, like, effective steps that you can do to have more family mealtime. And you can write this down if you want. I won't be judging you if you don't look down right now. You just keep looking at me. But the first bullet point that an article by the University of New Hampshire on making family mealtime a reality says is to keep it quick. So family meals do take some time, so it's recommended to have like some snacks together as a family to kind of get in the groove. I have that feel of like a family mealtime to kind of get used to it. You can also prepare your meals like ahead of time, so it doesn't take hours and hours to get ready. It's not like you don't need to make a huge deal out of the meal. I just made that up, I swear. You don't need a huge deal out of the meal. The second point is to do what works for you. It might be a crazy time of day, so you don't need to try to work your whole life around having family meals. You can kind of just fit it into your schedule. The third point is to start slow. So you don't need to have a bunch of family meals right off the bat. You can kind of have like, 1 or 2 if you want, and then kind of work your way up to having regular family meals. The fourth point is to get the whole family involved. So you want to have everyone working to, buy the groceries, have everyone working to prepare the table, cook the food. So everyone's kind of committed to that and they want to be involved in that. The last point is to make family mealtime technology free. So kind of put your phones down, turn the TV off, so that way you can be present and interacting with everyone around you. So you can get the full experience of having that family mealtime. And to conclude, hold your applause. To conclude, families will find that following these steps above to incorporate more family mealtime in their everyday lives, and by adding in more family worship and devotions as part of that process, they are becoming more content and happier overall. And as the number of families doing these things grow, our society will find itself becoming more content and happier overall, thanks to the implementation of the profound benefits and significance of family mealtime. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you, Keenan. Do you feel guilty for serving pizza and donuts at the event for the workers? That's not the real question. I'd love to hear a little biblical perspective on family mealtime, if you want to share some of your learnings about that.
Yeah, so I think family mealtime is a really big deal, especially for Christians, because even though you have that quality time or all those scientific benefits from that, it is a great time to have like family worship time together, and I think that is very important. And we see examples of like meals being a big part of the Bible everywhere. You have communion, which is a meal, and it is one of the fundamental parts of Christianity is communion with God, and you have the bread and the wine. You also have I can't think of anything else. But there are examples in the Bible of that. I would say it's a great time for worship together and talking about God. And I forget which Catholic saint said this, but he called the family like a mini church, and it is like a concrete expression of the church. And that when you're a Christian family, you're supposed to represent the church. And so you want to act in such a way and with each other and spreading the gospel in such a way that people can look at you and be like, oh, that's what the church is supposed to look like. That kind of family, I guess, if that answers your question.
Can you expand on Alpha Children's Home and the mission there?
Yeah, so Alpha was founded, I believe, around 50 years ago, and it's basically for kids who can't be with their families right now because they're in a tough situation, whether it's their parents aren't around anymore or their parents gave them up for adoption, just things like that. It is a place where those kids can go to kind of have that Christian family experience, because normally they would just be all by themselves and you don't want to be in foster care. So they brought all these children here to have that family experience. I think they have these things called houses, I'm not sure, but they have these buildings where there are a number of kids that stay in one kind of house, and they've got like the parents there, well, they're like the parents, but like people who volunteer to kind of like raise them, and they've got also a school on campus. So it's very Christian, like Christ oriented, and for like raising these kids up in Christ and giving them that family experience.